What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Star Wars Vault. Today we are going to be breaking down Episode 3 of The Mandalorian. Clearly we have not done 1 and 2. We're just starting our channel back up, and it's kind of late to do 1 and 2. If you guys haven't watched Episode 1 and 2, wouldn't make sense to watch this video. But here we go. There will be spoilers, so please watch the episode and then come back and check this out, and we're going to just kind of break everything down and talk a little bit about what we think is happening and what's going to happen in the future. So the episode starts off with the Mandalorian flying back to the Outer Rim to drop off Baby Yoda. In this scene, we see Baby Yoda kind of climb out of his little cradle thing and try to take the knob off of one of the thrusters or whatever in the Mandalorian ship, and the Mandalorian looks at him and says, "Hey, this is not a toy," and picks him up. It's so incredibly adorable. Baby Yoda is so awesome. So in this scene, he's returning Baby Yoda back to the Empire, which he's obviously hesitant about. You can tell that he's not really looking forward to this, and that he's kind of second guessing himself. The next scene, he takes him down to the client. The guy doesn't have an actual name. His name is the client in the show. So he takes him to the client, where we need to talk about the fact that it's a little weird when he drops him off. Both him, the client, and the doctor kind of get a little overly excited. It's a little funny, and you'll see that the doctor, and Dr. Pershing, that's his name. Yep, Dr. Pershing. He scans the baby for health, but I also kind of felt like he was scanning like his force sensitivity, like maybe he was checking his midichlorian count, like Qui-Gon did to Anakin in Episode 1, and that's like right when he got really excited. So it seemed like maybe that was kind of like what they were doing, and it was very cool. So then the client brings out the canister of Beskar, which, if you guys don't know what that is, that's what the Mandalorians make their armor off of. That came from the Imperial Purge of Mandalore, which it comes in this like sweet container. Why in this world don't we have cool containers like that to carry awesome things? But he's getting a ton of Beskar, which is obviously a very rare, valuable metal in this universe. So then after that scene, Baby Yoda is taken away into the back room, which I don't know about you guys. Please leave a comment if that broke your heart a little bit. That was probably one of the saddest things I've ever seen, as they slowly floated Baby Yoda away, and he looks back at the Mandalorian, which is just kind of building up his doubt in the whole situation. Then the client makes a comment to the Mandalorian about the fact that it's easier to find the Beskar armor than it is to find a Mandalorian, which kind of seemed like he was kind of being a jerk at the moment to him. But little did he know there is the covert where all the Mandalorians are hiding, which is the next scene. The Mandalorian heads down to the covert back to the forge to make his new armor. As he's walking down there, you can see all the other Mandalorians looking at him, obviously very jealous because Beskar armor is so rare and valuable, and it was clear that this dude just cashed in on a big bounty. In that scene, he sits down to get his armor made. He tells her that he needs a complete new set of armor, that his armor was destroyed, or the integrity was destroyed while fighting the Rhino, where he also explains that he was helped by an enemy, which was Baby Yoda, an enemy who didn't know he was an enemy, which kind of just made me seem like more like he's still thinking about this baby, and it's kind of like really getting under his skin. In that scene, we see some other Mandalorians that come in the room, and they kind of talk a little smack. Anyone else catch the fact that this was clearly Jon Favreau in Mandalorian armor? The voice of Pre Vizsla from the Clone Wars TV show kind of seemed like the reincarnation right there, which is really cool. And if I was the director of a Star Wars show, obviously I would be having my own Mandalorian armor made for myself as well. That's when the Mandalorian and Jon Favreau's character get into a little bit of a fight over the fact, basically, you just feel that Jon Favreau's character is jealous of the Mandalorian and all his Beskar. That's where they fight with the vibro blades, which was really cool to see. So then the Mandalorian gets his new armor while it's being forged. Well, first of all, before that, she does warn him that making this new armor will draw a lot of attention to himself. So basically, with this Beskar armor, you're walking around with a fortune on your chest, which definitely puts a target on your back. After that scene, they begin to forge the armor. During the forge, we go into another flashback like we had in the first episode. In this one, we see the Mandalorian during the Clone Wars as a child, and he's being, like, his family's getting attacked, and his family's killed by super battle droid, which was really cool to see another, like, a super battle droid again. in live action. Right before the scene ends, the super battle droid opens a door, which clearly he doesn't kill the Mandalorian, so someone's going to come and save him. My theory is that it's going to be some kind of like, it's going to be a Jedi or something. It's going to be something really cool. So I'm excited to see what happens there. So after that scene, the Mandalorian heads back to Grief Karga to get another bounty. When he walks into this bar, you can tell all of the bounty hunters are super jealous because they were unable to claim the bounty when all of them were given the fobs. Obviously, they could see in Grief Karga makes a statement that they're weighing the Beskar on his chest because he's carrying around a valuable score that they were unable to attain themselves. That's when the Mandalorian grabs another puck. He's trying to get another bounty and just move on, which is a Mon Calamari, and he's going to be heading out. When he gets to his ship, however, he goes to pull the knob that the Baby Yoda took the top off of. You can tell that was like the moment that he was just like, nah, I got to go back for this Baby Yoda. That was a great scene because you just see the humanity, and it's so cool because he's wearing a Mandalorian helmet. You see no facial expressions, but you see the change in him in that moment. The sadness creeps in, and he's just like, forget it, we're going. So now he heads back to where the client is staying. He gets on the roof and he uses his awesome sniper rifle to kind of listen in to hear what the emperor or the imperial people are saying. And he's talking to the doctor, and he mentioned something about extracting something from the baby and disposing of it, which we don't really know what that is. It seems a little weird. Maybe he's trying to like pull the force sensitivity out of him or something. Maybe they're trying to figure out a way to, like, if they find a force sensitive child, to, instead of like just killing them, maybe they can find a way to like remove their connection to the force or something crazy. So that's when he goes to the door, and when the security droid pops up, he rips its head off and then hides around the side. The stormtroopers come out. He blasts a hole through the side of the door and then goes in to find the baby. He finds Baby Yoda in like this little machine with Dr. Pershing. Now, Dr. Pershing is very unique. He does have a patch on his side from Kamino. The clones wear it in episode 2, and it's pretty crazy. So it kind of seems like this Baby Yoda might be a clone. Whether it is a clone or they're going to clone him. So he's either a clone of Yoda, or maybe he's just another force-sensitive baby of the same species, and they're gonna clone him in the future. So, and maybe what they were doing was just like extracting some kind of DNA or something like that. But you can also tell that Dr. Pershing cares about the baby, and he believes he's the only reason the baby's still alive, and the Mandalorian spares his life for that reason. So it's clear the Mandalorian cares more about this Baby Yoda than pretty much anything going on, because he's kind of ruining his reputation here to save this baby. But he takes Baby Yoda, and they're heading out the building. He gets surrounded by stormtroopers, and this is where the whistling birds come in. The whistling birds are a weapon that he had made at the covert in the beginning of the episode. She warns him, like, they're very rare, use them sparingly. So basically they're like tiny little wrist missiles that come out of his thing, and they heat seek the closest enemy and they kill him. And it was crazy to see that. That was a very cool scene. Those whistling birds are awesome. And then he makes his escape. As he's walking back to his ship, however, all of the bounty hunters on the planet, their fobs go off at the same time. They're all getting their bounty back, basically. So now he has every single bounty hunter in the whole guild chasing him. And that's a pretty crazy scene where he's basically fighting his way back to his ship. And that's where we see probably one of the best parts about this episode, the return of the Mandalorians to battle. Which, first of all, I do want to mention how awesome the Mandalorian sniper rifle is, and how it basically just explodes people into dust, which was so cool to see him doing that. But then the Mandalorians come over the horizon. They're all flying in on their jetpacks, jumping in and shooting and taking people out, and it was just so cool. It was so reminiscent of the Clone Wars TV show, and it was just awesome. So the Mandalorian is able to make his escape. The Jon Favreau character, they kind of like redeemed like their relationship a little bit there. He like, the Mandalorian looks over and says, "What are you doing? You're gonna have to move the whole covert." And he says, "This is the way," which is the Mandalorian. They're gonna defend each other no matter what, even if they have disagreement. They're a family. So the Mandalorian makes his escape. He heads back to his ship where Grief Karga is hiding and waiting for him. Grief Karga sent you were coming. Grief Karga, he thinks he's got the drop on him. The Mandalorian shoots his little like wrist rope hits like some sort of steam vent or something on his ship, and Greef Karga is not able to see where he is, and he's kind of taking random shots at him and missing. And all of a sudden, the Mandalorian shoots Greef Karga right in the chest. He goes flying out the back of the ship, and the Mandalorian takes off. A second later, we see that Greef Karga is not really dead, and the Beskar that he got from the job was right in his chest and saved him from death. And then the final scene is the Mandalorian flying away off the planet. Jon Favreau's character flies up next to his ship and kind of salutes him, which was a very cool scene. And the Mandalorian makes a comment, "Man, I need to get one of those," referring to the jetpacks, which, yes, you definitely do. And then the final and most adorable thing, the Baby Yoda's head, you just see his hand come up. He's reaching for the knob again to play with it, and the Mandalorian unscrews it and hands it to him. And it's just kind of like, it was such a perfect like way to like kind of like circle like the episode. It just kind of brought the episode to a close. It started off where he was taking the knob and the Mandalorian kind of got upset about it, and then it ends with him taking the knob and the Mandalorian handing it to him. And it really just tells the story in those two scenes, and it's super cool. So yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying the Mandalorian show. I really do believe it's the start of the comeback of Star Wars. We had some issues with The Last Jedi, and some people were just hating, which, I mean, people are gonna hate no matter what, but the Mandalorian is really great, and I haven't really heard too many bad things about it. And I hope you guys are enjoying it as much as I am. Let me know in the comments what you guys think is going to happen next week, what you guys want to see, what you guys didn't like, if you didn't like anything. And boom, I'll see you guys on Friday. Thank you guys so much for listening. We love you all. May the Force be with you, and have a happy Thanksgiving. And please make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. We're back at it. We're going to be pushing out all kinds of cool new Star Wars content in the future. Bye, guys.